Welcome to the LZ Sports Show. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Mark Adam, coming to you from the WPG Sports headquarters, which, as we've established previously, is my basement. That's how everyone's doing business these days, trying to stay COVID-friendly, which means that joining me from his home is the one and only Mr. Keith McKnight. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you? Great to be back. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're joining me here on the show. We have, it was a weird week, wasn't it? We had a couple of postponed games. They slid one up from May so that we could actually have a game, and they didn't want to give us a week off.
No Vancouver Canucks here.
No weeks off for us. It was a really interesting game. We're going to talk about that. First, I'd like you to follow us on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Do like and subscribe. That click doesn't mean much to you, but it means a lot to us. We would greatly appreciate that. Just head over to our YouTube page. You can either just search us on YouTube or the WPG magazine, by the way, on YouTube, or you can just go to wpg.news/YouTube. It'll take you right there. That's a little hack. Everything that is easy is now a hack instead of just something that's simple. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. If you want to voice your opinion, you can call the WPG Sports Line. That number is 431-800-4555. You can leave a voicemail. We'll use those voicemails on future episodes. We also allow emails. The LZ at thewpg.ca. And I recognize everyone out there. I do get comments every so often. Yes, it's Zed. I understand. And in any other context, I would use Zed. But the military jargon for a landing zone is the LZ. That's a nod to our military team theme here in Winnipeg between the Bombers, the Jets, Valor FC, all that stuff. So just letting you know, I recognize that it is Zed. And I am a proud Canadian. I do say Zed. I'm just saying. Anyway. Leave that alone for now. Right now, we are going to hear a word from our sponsor, and we will be right back to talk about Jets versus Ottawa next.
Make your house a better place to come home to with Aquatech Pool, Spa, and Bath. We've been delivering complete customer satisfaction for over 40 years. Whether it's a fully completed backyard escape, a completely renovated bathroom, or a premium upgrade on outdoor furniture, Aquatech is the only name you need to know. That's because if it's an Aquatech job, it's an Aquatech team working on it. No outsourcing, no subcontractors. We do it all. Visit our one-of-a-kind showroom today at 1065 Dugald Road. Aquatech Pool, Spa, and Bath. We create better places to come home to.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Aquatech Pool Spa and Bath. We greatly appreciate them. Let's dig right into the game last night. I didn't put a highlight package together. You wanted to shoot early, and I figured I didn't, priorities, right? Forget fighting the copyright claims and all that. But that was what did you think of the game last night? What did you think?
It was great, but then the typical Jets fashion, they let Ottawa come back into the game. When you heard Dennis Bayak on the TSN network say, Jets leading this one for 3-1 heading into the third, and then all of a sudden the final score was 4-3. Like, whoa, what happened here? What's going on here, boys? They got the first goal very quickly by Pierre-Luc Dubois, and I thought that was just like, okay, here we go. And they got another one quickly, and I was like, okay, they're on top of this Ottawa team, and it's like, don't believe the hype of Ottawa just because they won a few games, and then don't start sulking on the Jets because they lost a few as well. So, good teams lose, bad teams win. And last night we just had things go back to normal where the Jets played their typical fashion of hockey where they're like, maybe last night their backs weren't against the wall, but they were definitely a little on their heels last night. I know they got a little worried.
The second half of that third period, the last 10 minutes of that game, they just let up a little bit. They took the foot off the gas. I don't know. The third period was just all Ottawa. And I think it was, you get up 4-1 and all of a sudden you're just thinking, we got this. You coast a little bit and then in come a team that are hungry for wins. They are the most desperate team in the division for wins. You can't let your foot off the gas because they're going to try and take advantage. And someone earlier this season was saying that Winnipeg was very good at closing out games, which they meant when they're up in a game going into the third, they end up winning, which technically true. I would say the Jets back their way out of a lot of games. Have you noticed that this season? Where they're up, they'll have an advantage, and then they just they let go for a little too long. In this case, it was like the last 10 minutes of the game. But, they let go for just a bit, and then they get themselves in a position where maybe they don't win, maybe they tie, maybe they go to overtime. They haven't been amazing this year at closing out games. You can say yes, when they're leading by the start of the third, they generally win. Yes, but they don't do it in a confidence-inspiring fashion. Would that be accurate?
Very accurate, and not a very confident way to do it. Oh, confident, inspiring fashion. I'm gonna write that one down. That's really good. Because they have their fans, and they even had us like, okay, what's going on here? It sounds like Zingle wanted to start to hold all by himself. It's they can't be playing that type of because if they go into the teams are going to waste that opportunity to come back.
Yeah, and well, they got lucky because it was Ottawa. But let me tell you something about Ottawa last night. They looked really good. Am I wrong?
Very good.
They played some good hockey. I mean, they couldn't solve the defense of the Jets. Only 23 shots, I think they got. Yeah, 23 shots. And speaking of the stats, let's have a look at those. But I really 46 shots for the Jets. Their goaltender, Mr. Forsberg, the Anton Forsberg, man, he was sprawling and diving and doing everything he could to keep that puck out of the net. That was very impressive play from him. I know he let in 4 goals, but I would also like to point out that 46 shots, he made 42 saves on the night. What else can you ask for from your keeper? You got to get a little help from the defense. And the Ottawa Senators ran into a team that has explosive offense and very accurate shooting. This dominating in the face-off circle is not something that the Jets are used to. This 67% is not going to be something we see very often this year. So that's not fans shouldn't get used to that. I thought the power play was pretty good. I thought the penalty kill was pretty good. They did concede one, but I mean that was a great pass and a great shot that led to that power play goal for the Sens. So you can't really be too mad at the penalty killers for that. They do a very good job night in, night out. I just thought that was great. So we see here Dubois potting too. Do you think that he heard, because there's been some chatter in the media and online, on Twitter, Reddit, all those places, about Dubois and how he's not really living up to the standard that we were expecting given who we gave up to get him. What do you think about that?
Well, good things sometimes take time, and the best things are worth waiting for. And, just like IBM and Hilton, that's how they were built, right? You got to take your time with these things. Pierre-Luc Dubois is not this type of player who is not going to deliver. Yeah, okay, it's taking a bit of time, but, is that a media thing or is that the fans saying this? Give this guy a break already. Like 2 goals last night. Now all of a sudden everybody's going to be wearing the guy's jersey and taking back every negative thing they had to say about him, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of, I get a little confused. That's why I continue to say, when this team loses, don't get upset here. If your favorite player is having a little bit of a slump, it's fine. Nikolai Ehlers hit the rookie wall when he was a rookie. Well, when else would he hit the rookie wall? Not Keith. But it's like now he's really stepped out of that shadow, and it's like, give the kid a break here. I was a little bit hard on Mark Scheifele when he first came in, and then now he's finally coming out. And Pierre-Luc Dubois, things will come together. These guys will get into the form that they need to get into right in the nick of time for playoffs, because they're already in the playoffs. We can already tell you that. It'll take a miracle losing story for the Winnipeg Jets to be eliminated from playoff contention. And, for whatever percentage they have going towards and winning the Lord Stanley Cup, it better be increasing as the days go by. And, ease up on the gas about how concerned you are about Pierre-Luc Dubois. The guy's just fine. He's the 3rd overall pick. You know, he's not a Patrick Laine who's in a massive slump down in Columbus, because I almost forgot Patrick Laine was in the league.
That's fair. He's not making waves the way that he was in the media here. He's not making good waves, let me tell you that. But there was a couple of different people were saying that trade is not paying off for either club right now, and I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that with Pierre-Luc Dubois on board, I think he's been playing really good hockey of late. He hasn't been scoring the number of goals that Patrick Laine is used to scoring and that Dubois can score when he's on. But I thought his just where he is on the ice, the way that he's playing, how he supports his line mates. You go back and look for the month of March, the Dubois, Ehlers, and Connor line, they tore it up in March. So
where are these opinions coming from? Your confusion about
it's statistics. They look at the stats and they go, look at how many goals he hasn't scored versus how many goals Patrick Laine would have scored were he here. That's the problem, is people are looking at the statistics without context. And I think you put Patrick Laine on one of those lines, all of a sudden he's the guy scoring the goals, so he's getting all that credit. You put Dubois out there, it's a different dynamic, right? He's not the guy who's going to score all the goals. He's going to be the guy drawing a defender out of the way, making space for Kyle Connor running through. I mean, now he's playing with Stastny and Wheeler, which is a whole other dynamic, and obviously that's working. 2 goals last night for him. Can't be mad about that. So, I don't know. I just think the negative attitudes towards the Jets and certain players and things like that, Dubois in this particular case, I think they happen so fast because we're having such success, and as soon as there's any kind of a slump, there's just who can we blame? Who's not producing?
Yes.
Who's not doing this? Who's not doing that?
Exactly.
So, was there one player that stood out for you for the Jets last night?
Logan Stanley.
Tell me why.
So,
I like it. Tell me why.
So happy. Like, he was at the right places. He was doing all the right things. The announcers were saying his name so much. I was like, oh, wow, like Logan Stanley's really coming together here. The way he played yesterday, he's making me question what they're going to do with Tucker Poolman based off Tucker Poolman's broken foot injury last year. So Tucker better understand that, or he better be reminded and remember that, you know, he's got to try out every night, especially against a guy like Logan Stanley, because Logan Stanley's much taller than him. And I think that's what the Jets really, really like about Logan Stanley is his height. And if they continue to pound on muscle with him in the strength and conditioning room, I think he will really be developed into a way better defenseman than he already is. Because yesterday he had a stellar game. Like, his stick was all over the place. His hands were on other opposing players just to make sure he stayed with them. And he was never put, what I noticed as well, he didn't put Connor Hellebuck in any situation to be alone. And I thought that was like, oh man, he was to the left, to the right, but he was always in the right amount of vicinity and the right amount of area to help out Connor Hellebuck and to keep Connor Hellebuck's confidence very high. And I think the coaching staff really noticed that too. And I hope that they do not give him a healthy scratch for the next game. He deserves to be out there.
And
how about you? Who's your guy?
Oh, my guy. I really liked the way that Dubois played, but I'm actually gonna go the other way, and I'm gonna talk about Ehlers again, because that guy, 2 assists on the night. He's not scoring as many goals as you want him to, seeing as, you know, but he's getting the points. His vision on the ice to find open guys. It's something that, and again, and I'm gonna go back to what Craig Button said. He's a better player than Laine. He's more well-rounded. He plays better hockey. He's smarter. He's more heads up. But I got to tell you, when Nikolai Ehlers gets the puck and he's flying in from wherever he's flying in from, whether he comes around the net and he goes up the ice, or he grabs it on the half wall and escapes the zone, or he takes a pass in the neutral zone, his head is always up. He's always on a swivel. And last night was another example of that, where he played like he just played smart, safe hockey. And safe isn't always a good word when you're talking about a power superstar like Nikolai Ehlers is sort of morphing into. But
Yes.
on last night, that's what was needed of him, so that's what he did. And that's the difference between him and somebody like Laine. Laine is, I mean, like, let's call him 1.5 dimensional. He's not one dimensional. He does have some skill skating with the puck and moving the puck. He's got some vision with the passes when he wants to. But I mean, really, what he wants to do is set up in his office and have somebody feed him, and that's what he wants. He doesn't want to chase the puck when he doesn't have to chase the puck. So seeing how Ehlers sort of opens up so much more for this Winnipeg club, I'm very happy to have him on board, just for that the roundedness of his game, that he comes back and he back checks. He does all the little things. And him and Dubois both last night did what the team needed. The team needed goals, and he was standing in the right spot, so Dubois made it happen. But most nights, Dubois is doing whatever else is needed by the team. Getting points is important, but opening up lanes so that your teammates have opportunities to get points is just as important. If you're the only threat, then you're easily marked. You're easily covered. And people will figure out players like Alex Ovechkin earlier in his career when he was just sort of setting up on the wall. Now, he's got so much more to his game that when he does set up, is he going to stay there? Is he not? It's a question mark now. And that allows that shot to happen a lot more often, ironically. So a guy like Ehlers is never, ever in the same spot when he gets the puck. He's not predictable. He's not easily read. His no-look passing is insane. His vision on the ice, he knows where everybody's at. He knows Kyle Connor's right there. So he can feather a pass to Kyle Connor without ever even moving his eyes over or even like feigning, or there's no telegraphing his maneuvers. So I thought he played a great game last night, and I think, the last 10 minutes of the third period notwithstanding, he was probably the standout.
Yes, I love how he's really come out of Laine's shadow. I can't believe it's so good that he said he's way better than Patrick Laine, because when you say all he wanted to do was set up in his office and have the puck fed to him, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's all that he played. That's the only way that he played. To me, I'll put it out there now, I think he was way inconsistent here in Winnipeg. Like, the world went nuts when he scored those 5 goals against St. Louis, and then he goes, I like scoring goals. Okay, well, then keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain expectation, especially when you're Patrick Laine, because that's what you do. There isn't another dimension to your game, really. Yeah. Right? Like, this is what you're here for. You have to produce when given the opportunity. And you're right. He was very inconsistent, very streaky, and that's not something. Streaky isn't a word you want to hear. Just ask Pavlik how the fans reacted to his streakiness. Do you know what I mean? Great goaltender on a lot of nights, but which Pavlik is showing up was the question mark. And that was sort of the same with Laine. And now that we have Ehlers, we have Dubois, we have Kyle Connor, Mason Appleton. These are guys that you can't predict them. They're not always in the same spot doing the same thing. They go where the puck is, or they go where they need to be to allow the puck to go there. They're very smart heads up players. So that's a very big difference. Let's have a quick look at the playoff picture, where the Jets sit right now in second place, alone in second. What's your takeaway when you look at this?
The team I'm worried about is Toronto. I'm not even worried about that much. It's because they look good, but we beat them. I'm not any other team right now than Toronto. If I was any other team such as Edmonton, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, and Ottawa, the only two teams I would be concerned about beating is Toronto and Winnipeg, because those other teams, they're so, Montreal's not going to make it. I'm telling you that right now. They're not going to make it. They're going to find a way to screw this whole thing up. They're going to have way more overtime losses than regular losses, and that's going to put Vancouver, Calgary, and Ottawa in a position to really, really jump on them, because I don't know, man. This Montreal team, if they're going to keep firing all these coaches, bringing all these players, they got to look at Mark Bergevin, because he has dodged a lot of bullets with the failures that the Montreal Canadiens continue to expose. So, like I said, I'm not worried about that. Edmonton, okay, they won at home against the Jets those 2 games. But like I said, it's Toronto that I'm really frustrated with seeing there because they just always manage to just squeeze one out. You know, they're just like, you can't really catch them. Like 7-2 in the last 10. Like, that's pretty impressive. Way better than the Jets 6-4-1 or 6-3-1. I'm sorry, or no 5-4-1. Sorry, that looks like a 6. I'm sorry.
Right on. No, it's I understand, and I'm with you there. I think this, looking at the statistics here, that's rough. It's a rough place to be if you're Montreal. It's a rough place to be if you're Edmonton. I mean, Edmonton's in a pretty good spot. You have to think Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton are guaranteed to make the playoffs. I mean, if they keep playing the way they're playing, that's a no-brainer. Those are the 3 teams. The bubble there is Montreal. They may be saved right now by the fact that the Canucks are absolutely being decimated by the COVID-19 virus.
I know. That's like, was it 9 of their players?
17 players right now.
Whoa, where did those guys go?
Yeah, so Hoglander was added Monday. So 17 players from the Vancouver Canucks are on the COVID-19 protocol list. So
this is what they should do with the NHL right now. All the players should choose to strike and sit due to COVID. And then, like in the football movie with Canadian actor Keanu Reeves, when he did the replacements, and then guys like you and I sign up to go play.
Oh man, I'm there, man. I got you. I'm there. I'm 100% there. So yeah, I'm there. You're wearing your gear as it is.
Let's go. Full send now.
Oh, you're choppy. Anyway, so that was a shocking number to read this morning. Do you think, and I'm going to ask you this question, do you think that Vancouver is going to pull out of this year? Do you think that's there's rumors that they're just going to just forfeit the rest of their games and be done?
Oh my God. It's like when the Panthers got the measles and D1 the Mighty Ducks, and the Ducks were able to make the playoffs out of District 5. Oh my God. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, it's getting real, right? It's but I mean, this is the weirdest year on record for hockey. It has to be. Yes,
this is weirder than the first year because everybody had to shut down when this whole thing, all the sports leagues just shut down. And then, we all worked our way back into a life of normalcy as we could. And then here we are now, but this is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
The fans are going to you remember in the Lord Stanley Cup when Vancouver lost and they had that riot?
Oh, you mean the 2 times that happened?
Yes, maybe this is a hat trick for it because the city will be very disappointed if they have to forfeit this season. I'm telling you this right now. The fans of the Vancouver Canucks are going to be very unhappy about that.
Yeah. COVID-19 continues to be very serious. We encourage everyone to follow public health orders. We hope to have further information to share in the coming days. Stay safe and healthy. So that was the Vancouver Canucks official tweet. I'm mind blown. The fans seem to be supporting them, but I think how crazy would that be because when you look again at that playoff picture, Vancouver's sitting on the cusp, and they were the team that I keep saying is going to overtake Montreal because of the way they've been playing as of late. They have yet to play any of those games since. So now the worry becomes they've got 17 players on their COVID list. Did we dodge a bullet? Did Winnipeg dodge a bullet? Because we played them last.
Yeah, maybe we did. Now we might only be competing with 6 teams, right?
Well, that's just it. This 17 division, which already is one shy of the standard across the board. So what's going to end up happening is that Calgary and Ottawa are just going to sit in the basement there since Calgary's decided to go 2-8-0 in their last 10.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, it's there's something going on there. But I guess they're waiting for Ottawa to catch up. I don't really know what's happening in Calgary. They were a very dangerous team at the start of this season, but they have since really, really fallen off. And they did it at the worst possible time. Making a playoff run now would require some semblance of a miracle, I would think.
Yeah, 100% a miracle, yeah. So
but
I don't know. The Jets are there. I'm just worried about Toronto, and I really hope we can dethrone them and hopefully get that number 1 spot going into the playoffs. I think it's possible. I mean, there's still enough games left for the Jets to really. You never know. Toronto could go in that slump, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's. There's any number of teams could slide up and down from there, and they're changing on the regular. Montreal seems to be winning some games as of late since they had their COVID protocol. They're actually playing better hockey since all those postponements they had to do. So we'll see how that goes. But I would like to ask you a question, sir. I saw Darren Dreger reported that Nashville, when they were talking to Winnipeg, is asking for a pick, Ville Heinola, and maybe something else for Ekholm.
Oh my God!
Thoughts?
That's pretty big, because I know that you can kind of tell by now, especially when I noticed that the Jets scratched Ville Heinola when the Jets went to Finland. And, that's his home country. And I was like, oh, man, they didn't even let the guy play in front of his home country, like his homeland. His family would have probably been there. So I kind of was like, okay, are they even into this kid? Because, Paul Maurice does not care about storylines, doesn't care about those types of headlines. He's like, if you're a good player, you'll play. So even forget about the sentimental thing that, hit home there for me. But that's when I was, okay, maybe this kid is not really as good as the Jets thought. And I could see that trade going through. I hate to see Ville Heinola go, because I really like him. I think he could really come together quickly. But the way guys like Logan Stanley and Tucker Pullman are playing, it's just I think the Jets are a little bit more their eyes are a little bit more on different players. So if they can, and it's all about, Andrew Hustler-Patterson said all the time that it's all about draft picks. And you know what? If the Jets are going to give him up for some picks, and Ekholm, I'm sorry, Villa. I'm sorry. I hate to see you go, but I'd love to watch you leave.
Well, and speaking of draft picks, the top 12 forwards for the Jets, 6 of those were drafted and developed by Winnipeg directly. They weren't traded for. Half of their forwards were picked by them. They grew up in the farm, and here they are. Kyle Connor is a great example of what happens when you develop a player through the Moose. Nikolai Ehlers, he sort of jumped the gun, jumped that hurdle, and he went straight to the show. So there wasn't that development in the lower leagues. It took him a little longer to get to where he is. Yeah. But the amount of room he still has to grow is unbelievable right now. So
he's not far away from being a letterman the way he's playing. I'm telling you, he's worthy of a letter on that jersey, Nikolai Ehlers. I'm telling you this right now.
And that's, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you. I'm an advocate of him having the A on his shirt. I really am. And I tap my shirt like it's not a Nikolai, or like it's not a Lion A jersey, but whatever. It is what it is. Man, for $25 you can get a Lion A jersey at Sport Check. So
you can buy one for yourself and your friend.
Yeah, I have a lot of Jets gear. I have hats and hoodies and t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. I have gloves, and I somebody bought me an oven mitt, chef hat, apron kit. I don't know why, because I'm such a big cooker, I guess. I don't know, but I have this Jets. I have Jets logos on all kinds of stuff. This is the first Jets jersey I've actually owned, legit jersey. So,
and you even said that it has the tie down, so it's like an actual jersey.
It's legit. Let's get in a fight with Logan Stanley. It's got the legit tie downs in the works. Anyway, I can't complain about a $25 jersey, and honestly, I respect the way he left. It wasn't in a Vander Kane situation. It wasn't he wasn't being a jerk about it. He wasn't holding the team hostage. He was playing hockey. He played the game. Before he got hurt there, he scored 3 goals in that one game, didn't he? Have a hat trick that day?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying, the guy went out all guns blazing. He put everything out on the ice. Mad respect. No big deal. I'm sad to see him not having the success that he was hoping to have in Columbus, but it's also Columbus, so it makes it really hard to have success there. But Torts is going to sort him out, let me tell you.
Oh, yes, he will. He will.
My take on the trade, just real quick, I really think that would be a mistake. I think giving up Heinola, who's a highly touted player, plus a pick, which we've just talked about how the Jets are good at it. The Jets are good at picking and developing and being patient. I think Cheveldayoff deserves so much credit for the way that he has handled the squad over the last, since the Jets came back, basically.
Yes.
He just such patience and smart moves and things like that. I really think that a trade now for a guy who's on the wrong side of 30 is just, it's not the right move. You're going to give up Heinola, a pick, and something else. That's going to be a no from me, Bob. I'm just,
You talk about the age. I'm sorry to talk about the age. I didn't think about his young guy. He's a young guy. He's a young gun.
Right? So he's a guy who's going to be in the Jets organization for the next decade, the way that the Jets develop talent and recognizing his skill. And no offense to the defensive core of the Jets right now, but I would say that Ville Heinola has the potential to be better than every single one of those guys. Every single one of them. So
love confidence. I love that. That's conviction.
But giving him up would be a mistake. So I'm going to say that's a bad trade, and I hope that Cheveldayoff goes with his gut, deals with the pick. We'll take our chances with who we've got right now, and we're going to go, we'll develop Heinola, and we'll see him next year after having a real good chance at the Cup this year without making that trade. I don't think the upside outweighs the massive, massive downside of losing Heinola, a pick, and whatever else. So let's put that to bed. Can we just say no and just stamp a no?
Yeah, take everything back now. Forget it. I'm with you on it. When you would talk about the age factor, it's like, Nashville's probably already got the prime out of Ekholm already, the best that they were going to get. So, and it's not like he's like a Trevor Lewis coming in from a Lord Stanley Cup winning team here with that type of experience, because the Jets, they have this rivalry with Nashville. So, yeah, you know what? Leave that alone. Leave that alone.
So I would like to point out that something amazing just happened. Someone on the internet just changed their mind based on facts.
Wow.
I didn't even have to call anybody Hitler. It was crazy.
You have to argue about it.
But anyway, that is it for the show today. We were going to get into some other stuff, but we're running real low on time. I will point out that Montreal beat Edmonton in overtime. I will point out that Toronto beat Calgary 5-3. And so those were the other two games that happened last night in our division. Toronto is a scary looking team right now, 7-2-1 in their last 10. I do not want to play against that team right now. They are looking really, really scary. 4-game winning streak, including the 2 that they put on us here in Winnipeg last week. So let's hope for a better move forward through. Now that we've got this nice win, it was basically a gift from Ottawa that we almost gave back, to be honest. But
re-gifted.
Yeah, we almost re-gifted it. But they hung on, they got the win. Hopefully that's the start out of this that slide. We didn't want those 2 losses to Toronto to sort of be the start of a trend. And so we got the Montreal Canadiens coming up in Montreal on the 8th. So they've been playing good hockey since their postponements and stuff. Let's hope that the Jets are up to the task. They got a couple of games there before moving on. So we'll see you after that game. We'll see you on the 9th. And for myself and my partner in crime here, Mr. Keith McKnight, we are the LZ Sports Show. So we'll see you next time in the LZ.